If you're as busy as me, having a calendar is absolutely necessary to keep up with what's going on. I have one displayed on my Home Assistant dashboard, but recently I came across a new calendar called Calendar Card Pro. Today I'm going to show you a little bit about that calendar and show you why it's my new favorite. Let's get started. Calendar Card Pro was designed based on the button card and HACS calendar add-on that was shared within the Home Assistant community. It was a nice design. I'm going by what the author said here. Basically, it was a nice design, but it had some performance issues, especially with card mod and button card. So this author decided to create a calendar that leverages some intelligent refresh mechanisms, smart caching, yada, yada, to ensure a smooth experience, even if you're using this with multiple calendars like I do. So here are some of the main features of this calendar. It's got a sleek and minimalist design, it has multi-calendar support as I mentioned, it has compact and expandable views, very customizable, there's all kinds of stuff you can do with it. Has optimized performance as we discussed. It is theme aware and has native effects, so it's integrated with Home Assistant natively. It has multi-language support. Currently, as of this video, 26 languages are supported, and it's modular and extensible. It does require at least one calendar entity in Home Assistant, and it is compatible with any integration that uses the calendar asterisk entities, such as CalDAV, Google Calendar being the primary ones that he's tested it with. Now, to get this in here, you're going to go down here to the installation, and you're going to take this repository. First of all, you have to have HACS installed. If you don't know what HACS is, go back and watch my video on HACS. There's also lots of other videos out there. HACS is the Home Assistant Community Store, and that's the installation recommendation. There is a manual installation method if you want to go through that, but by all means, the easiest is HACS. So I'm going to go into my Home Assistant yellow here, and I'm going to go into HACS itself. And I'm going to add a new repository, and that's by clicking these three dots up here. Make this bigger for you. And then click on Custom Repositories, paste the repository, and this is going to be a dashboard type repository, and click on Add. Now, once you've added it, you can come over here since you know it's a dashboard, and you can filter by dashboard type, and you can search for Calendar here. And you'll see that you have Calendar Card Pro. Now you'll need to download it. So let me move this out of the way. You'll still need to download it into your Home Assistant instance. So click on download. And we'll go in here and it will tell you that it's a version 2.4.1 is going to be downloaded. It's going to be located in this directory. You can choose a different version if you want to, but I'm going to go with the latest, which is 2.4.1. And that was 20 hours ago as of this particular recording. Click on download. And you need to reload your browser for the updated resources to be used. You want to do that now, and certainly I do. So now you'll see that this particular Calendar Card Pro has been added to the download section of your HACS or your store here. So it's now available for use. So I'm going to just go ahead and start using it. We'll go through some of the configuration options that are available. There's a lot of configuration options for this card. And I'm not going to be able to show you every single one of them, but I'll show you a few of them and show you some of the ones that I use on my daily driver for my calendars. So let's go into a sample dashboard with nothing on it right now. I'm going to edit this dashboard and I'm going to add a card to my section here. Nothing in it. Now this card is manual. You can't do anything through the UI with this particular card yet. So you can click on manual here. And if you look at the examples they have on the web page, you can come down here and find a basic card. So I'm just going to take just this information. I'm using this as a starter, if nothing else, just a starter to get me the right syntax set up here. Now you can see it's going to give you over here the preview of what you're doing as you do it along. I don't like the title being there. It takes up valuable space on my dashboard, although you could leave it there for your purposes. But you can see that the type is Custom Calendar Card Pro, and the fact that you're seeing the preview means that your Home Assistant instance will have picked up the new repository and the card's been downloaded, installed, etc. So this means it's working properly. Now I don't have anything called calendar here, so I'm gonna have to change my calendar. I've got a BC calendar and I have a BC or calendar number 2. So I have 2 different calendars here already that are in my Home Assistant instance that I'm using for testing. Now, right away, you see that there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. You can see that the events are in my calendar. They're color-coded based on the particular calendar that it's coming from. Anything under blue is going to be the second calendar. Anything under red is going to be the first calendar. And if you're really interested in how you change those, if you just do a quick search for HTML color codes on the internet, you'll see some places where you can go get the color codes themselves. So let's say I want that to be more of a green. So I'll just kind of select it, come over here, choose that, and then I'll go into my calendar and I'll just change that color code to that. Now, sometimes when you change the color code, you're not going to get it to update until you refresh your browser. And now it says it's white. It should be green. If it's white, usually means there's a mistake in it. So let me go look and check that. ECF5EB, ECF5EB. Yeah, I don't know. This is more of a browser caching issue than anything else, but it demonstrates the fact that you can change the color of the text in your calendar. Now there's other things you can do with this, like the accent color. And this accent color is going to change the sideline here, or the separator here, as well as some other things. So I'm going to give it accent color something along the lines of this color. Again, we need to put it in quotes, and we need to put the hashtag here. And you'll see now that for this particular calendar, it's kind of a yellowish looking color. All of the items on this particular calendar are going to be this side separator, and the other calendar is going to be a bluish. So this gives you an easy way to tell the difference between the calendars. There's some other options you can set here. Days to show is 5, and max events to show is 5. So let's just say I want to do 7 days, and I have max events to show 5. So that means even though I'm telling the calendar to show 7 days, I'm only going to see 5 events total. So in order to have it show more on an as-needed basis, you can add in a thing called tap action, and the action is the expand piece. Now, this is one of my favorite pieces of this calendar, because if I come over here now and I save it and get out of editing mode, if I click on this calendar, I am now going to be able to see all of the events up to the limit I set, which was 7 days. So what it's doing is it's actually preloading 7 days worth of calendar events, but it's only showing you 5. If you have a limited dashboard size or space for a calendar, and you only want to take a look at farther in the head when you need to, then you just click on that and it gives you up to 7 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Very nice feature. One of my favorite features of this calendar. So let's go back and do some other stuff with this. One of the many other things you can do with this calendar is set a weekend day color, or set the weekend information over here to be different so you can tell the difference between a weekday and a weekend. So there's a weekend weekday color and a weekend day color. So if I save this once again and I go out and I tap on this out of edit mode, you'll see that the weekday and the week number color are both yellow, because I told it to change the weekends to a different color. That way, when you're looking at the calendar at a glance, you can tell which ones are going to be the weekend and which ones are not going to be the weekend, or just weekdays, normal weekdays. So that's a nice feature of the calendar. Another one of my favorites. Of course, you can change these colors to whatever you want. I typed in yellow because it's easy, but you can certainly come over to your color codes here, pick something, and have it show up on there as well. One thing I don't need to do is I don't need to see the month on here. So what I can do there is show the month, turn it off, set it to false. And now the month goes away on this display, and it makes it a little bit more compact, a little bit easier to read because it's not so busy. You can set month and week separator lines on here as well, just like you can day separators. I can set horizontal lines on here. Now you're going to see these horizontal lines both the width and the color. And you can set the opacity. If you add a number to the end of the color, you can set the opacity to be a certain value. So it kind of mutes it a little bit. It's not quite in your face. Gives it a more refined look, in my opinion, to have it that way. So you can change that as well. You can also set the vertical line width and vertical line color, which will go along here. Now I've got it set to 0 pixels. You can set it to 1. But if you do that, then you override the accent color. So if you want to keep the accent color, you can get rid of the vertical line color and just leave the vertical line width and set that to 1px or whatever, and then have the color for the accent color. Some more formatting you can do with this is you can set your sizes of your actual letters and numbers on this side. So day font size is this day. I set that to 15px. It makes it smaller and makes those numbers smaller as well. If you had weekday information, then you could set the weekday font size as well. Date vertical alignment. I believe it's already set for middle, but let's throw that in here as well. So if you do date vertical alignment and set it to the top, then you'll see it go up there. I don't know if bottom. Yep. So you can do middle, which is default, or you can do top. Your preference on where this stuff sits. If you don't have anything in there at all, it defaults to the middle. So you can show compact events for complete days. Never cut off a day's events midday. So if you have your calendar set to have 5 events and 7 days, and the 5 events stop halfway through a day, if you set compact events complete days to true, then it won't cut off an event that's on a day when it's only part of the 5 that you're able to show at one shot. So you want to, for me, that's important because you want to see the entire day. If I'm looking at Friday and I don't see the other event because it's event number 6 of the 5 I'm showing, then I won't know it's on there. So it's important that for the entire day it shows, and that's what this right here will do for you. So let's start talking through some of the options that are on here. Go back up here to the top. I'm going to talk about some of the new stuff that just happened to be released recently. You now have a customizable dot, pulse, glow effect emoji, or custom icon in order to list the today indicator. So if we have the today indicator, you just put it on here to true. It's going to mark this as a dot right here. You could change it to glow, although I don't see that it did any. Yeah, there's a little bit of a glow on there. It's really hard to see here. You can also do a pulse. So now you do see that pulsing. So let me get out of this preview. And you can see it's pulsing just slightly. So you could do that. You could also set it as an emoji or an MDI icon. So if I do something like MDI cat, that's supposed to do that, but it doesn't seem to work on either one of my things, unless again, it's a caching issue. So should be MDI, any material design icon. So it should show up as a cat. I'll leave it that way for a little bit and see if it clears the cache on it and it shows up. Nope, no cat yet. Interesting. So those are a few things today. Indicator position, you can move the way where the indicator is. So if it's too close to the side of that thing, centered left in the date column is default. You want to move that today indicator to the top. I don't know how useful this particular feature is. You're typically going to see today, unless your calendar is behind. You can set the start date in the past. So that is also possible. And I guess the position, I have to put the today indicator back. You see where I put it up here because I set this indicator position right there. So that's a couple of things you can do with the new today indicator. So we also have customize the appearance of today's date with the colors. We talked about that. Did we? It's the same as the weekend color. So today, what is it? Today, weekday, or today day color, today weekday color, I guess day color. So you can see now it's yellow and a dot. There's no getting around that today is the day because you've colored it and you've put a indicator and all kinds of nonsense. Again, I don't know if this is important unless you start the calendar in the past. Like I give it yesterday's date, for example, and I want to see today's date. If your calendar is always like mine, it'll always be on the first day, the current day anyway. So that's something to think about. So I don't need that. I still want to leave the indicator for cat and see if eventually that shows up because that'll be interesting. We have event progress bars. So you now can add progress bars to your events. You can split multi-day events. So split multi-day events true, split multi-day events false. You can do it globally or on a per calendar basis. I just did that. I have a multi-day event in there. It's already doing it. So I put split multi-day true. If I put it to false, maybe this doesn't see it as a multi-day event, but this repeat event is multi-day. It's a repeat. I think what that means is my calendar isn't actually showing the day. Let me do something with the calendar here and add an actual multi-day event. So if I add an event, multi-day event, and I start today and I end it 3 days from now on the 12th, that's a multi-day event. Add the event. Okay, there it is. So now what's going to happen is it's going to show that multi-day event, yes or no, depending on how I have that set. So see, it says multi-day event here, only on one day, but if I say true, now it'll show the same multi-day event on multiple days. So false should make it go away. It's going to make a liar out of me. Yeah, it's gone. It's again a caching issue. When you're editing it, you're not going to see exactly the features that might be there. If I say true, then it should show the multi-day event. Yeah, it's back. So you can have that multi-day event show up on multiple days or just the one day. It's up to you on this split multi-day events option. Anything else that's new? This is new stuff as of 2.4. Enhanced compact mode controls more precise control over what's displayed in compact versus expanded. Now the compact is what I showed you just a moment ago. So again, we have, let's do 10 days. And we have 5 events to show. That's compact mode. If we go over here and get out of editing and we click on it, this is expanded mode. So you have 10 days worth of stuff. If you close it down, you have 5 days worth of stuff. And by the way, this is themable. Let me just change the theme real quick and you'll see what I'm talking about. We're going to go to something like the example he uses in his blog is the iOS dark mode red blue alternative, which is a theme in Home Assistant you can use. I think I did alternative. Let me try the not alternative one. Alternative tries to download local. Yeah, there we go. Images. The other one uses GitHub for downloads. There we go. So this calendar is also fully customizable with the themes and everything as well. So you can use those themes within your calendar. Okay, that's a lot of stuff going on here. I've talked a lot about this calendar. There's so much configuration you can do, and I feel like I've gone way longer than I should have in this video. Let me just show you the rest of these again down here at the very bottom. There are some examples on the website that he shows how to do specific things. Like there's an example, there's an example. So he gives some examples on how to set things up a specific way. There's just a whole lot more you can do with it than even what I showed you here. Again, you can choose a language. You can give it a title, font size and color, background colors, day spacing, all kinds of stuff with the font sizes and all of that. You've got today, font sizes, colors, all of the things. Event columns can do much. You can show past events, whether or not the events have already elapsed for the day, show on the calendar. You can show a countdown, how much time remains until an event starts. You can also show a progress bar for currently running events. So if I set this one to have a progress bar, I don't know if I have anything that will qualify for a progress bar. Yeah, so this multi-day event now shows a progress bar on it. And usually, from what I've seen, the only thing that shows that multi-day event or shows a progress bar is something like this. These other ones don't seem to. You can change the height and the width of the bar and all this other stuff. You can do 24-hour time format. Show the end time, yes or no, of the event. So you could actually say show end time false. And now you're going to see when it starts, you won't see it, the end time. So you can do all of that as well. Location, you can do stuff with the location. Tap action, you can do stuff when tapping the card. You can do something with holding the card. So if you want to hold the card and have it expand, you can do a hold action versus the tap action. I don't know what options there are for those. And then there's a refresh interval. Right now, minutes between data refreshes is 30. It used to be 15. I wonder if they've just changed it to 30 as default. And then you can also force it to refresh data when you navigate between the dashboard views. By default, that's on as true. And here's some more configuration options. He uses a dark mode, red, blue alternative theme, which is what I showed you on here. You get out editing mode. That's what it shows here. So it's fully compatible with the theming that you have in your Home Assistant instance if you use themes. And by the way, I didn't even use themes until today to play with this because I'd never mess with it. But there are a lot of themes out there. Multiple calendars with a compact mode and on and on and on, all kinds of examples. I mean, even a full calendar demo with all the information you can put in it. So anyway, this is my new favorite calendar card. My most favorite feature, again, is the expansion, where I basically only want to see the next couple days. And if I want to see farther in the future, I just tap it and I can see all of the stuff at a glance. It's very customizable, so I can make it look however I want to. I can split the days with lines. I can split the months with lines. I can do all kinds of things to make it just look exactly the way I want it to and fit on my dashboard, fit into my themes, etc., etc. A long discussion about a single card, but when someone makes a really nice card like this, it's worth the effort to talk about it and show what it can do. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.